Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ambassador, first, thank you for your distinguished service to our country and to Texas in particular. I want to go back to Cameroon. I share Chairwoman Bass's interest there. I have a number of Cameroon nationals in my district. Both of you ran out of time. You mentioned that the government had established some Potemkin institutions. They weren't really doing anything to bring the two sides together. Could you elaborate on that, because you ran out of time before?
Sure, yes, sir. I understand the Cameroonian government established several commissions, and I'm sorry, I don't know the exact name of it, whether it's the Multicultural Institution for National Reconciliation or something, which on the face of it sounds good, but the institution, and there have been a couple of these, but they have not been provided adequate budget, and they have not really done anything, because what the country needs more than anything else is a genuine, open dialogue, probably to include the diasporas of the Cameroonians, because they have a great deal of interest in this. Because, sir, what's happening, both sides are becoming further and further radicalized. Unfortunately, I believe that the president of Cameroon is being told by his hardliners that he can win this thing militarily. There is no way that they're going to win this militarily. The violence is going to get worse in the northwest and the southwest. The arm for an arm, literally an eye for an eye, and the whole world will be blind there. The violence will spread to the West Province. It may even spread to the Littoral Province, which is the large city of Douala. So there has to be something. We are very, very energetically speaking with our allies. That's why I said that we just had in the Security Council this Monday what the United Nations calls an ARIAS, where it's an open debate, and it's so clear that everybody wants to move forward on this. Are sanctions on the table? Everything's on the table moving forward. But we have to bring this situation to an end. Else, there's a possibility of what happened in Nigeria with Boko Haram. Started as a small movement, and now look at it. And it'd be disastrous for the region if the Cameroonian government turned this thing into yet another type of Boko Haram.
Or Boko Haram could come back into Cameroon. Well, how do you mentioned, that it appears to be spiraling out of control, because the more the security forces clamp down, the more resistance there is in the Anglophone region. So what can we do that we're not already doing?
Well, like I said, the best we can do for right now is just work with our allies to really make the Cameroonian government understand the need for a real dialogue. And if that doesn't happen relatively quickly, then we have to look at the array of other tools we have in our toolkit, because, frankly, the possibility of sanctions is always there. But it's always better to work in concert with our friends before we go in that direction, because the frustrating thing is it is in the interest of everybody to have a national dialogue. The situation will not end militarily. Each day, the atrocities will get worse and worse.
Is permanent separation of the two regions a possibility?
Sir, I don't believe so, because I think that most Cameroonians, including in the southwest and northwest, have a sense of Cameroonianness, and the concept of a separated, what they call Ambazonia, in my view, is not realistic. Okay. It is the view of the United States of America to recognize the integrity of the country of Cameroon.
This is the reaction to the statement that Tibor Nagy made, right? Mm-hmm. By calling Ambazonia a joke. Tibor Nagy, right, is not the first entitled member of an establishment to make fun of people who are fighting for their rights and dignity. In these United States, right, mm-hmm, it's there that the American people expressed their intention not to be a colony of the Great Britain. The representative of the king in the colony said, on this day, nothing of significance happened. And I repeat, he said, nothing of significance happened. When the French peasants rose up, Maria Antoinette told them to eat cake. Let them eat cake. So it's not the first time that people who are rising up for their human dignity are being ridiculed and mocked. So we welcome Mr. Tibor Nagy to that club. Our humanity is not going to be defined by what Tibor Nagy or anybody else says. It is. Our humanity is not a fucking joke. The second thing Tibor Nagy said was that he was pleased that the UN Security Council met on our case. Why was he pleased? Why did they meet? They did not meet because Tibor Nagy and others like us, or love us, or care about us. They met because our boys are fighting, and fighting back effectively. And I'm done.
Thank you for that statement. Yeah, it's a very frustrating morning.
Amba, if you never kill till the last one, no man no go stop. Till you bury the last one, till the last one is buried. Amba, yeah? Oh, yeah. Amba, yeah? Oh, yeah.
I would like I just informed my brother that apartheid in South Africa was defeated not with American government support. And I don't know what the American government was trying to protect in apartheid. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Why would American government and the British government and the German government and the French government and all these, why were they protecting in apartheid? They were protecting skin color and profit. Maybe not even profit, but skin color. Mm-hmm. Because maybe they're even making more profit now than they were making before, controlled by the ANC. Mm-hmm. Because you know, with the white city on the other side, they would try to make a fair deal. But with the black city on the other side, they try to ram what they're trying to ram down our throats. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You're also going to Cameroon, which you know well. You were posted there. You were posted there in the early 90s.
Yes.
I come back to the question at the outset. Did you think that Paul Biya would still be the president in 2019?
Wow. At the time, the way the election that I observed back in 1991 went, the possibility was certainly there. You know, he has been in charge of Cameroon, I think, longer now than I believe any other serving African head of state. Maybe Obiang, but I think definitely there. The problem is, with such long service, so many fundamental problems have gone unaddressed, and we see this now in the northwest, southwest, or what some people call the Anglophone region of Cameroon. The government has been totally, in my view, ineffective in addressing that. Some of their actions have actually worsened what is going on there. There's been just a mounting cycle of violence from both sides. The radicals in the Northwest, the ones who call themselves the Amba boys, and then the security forces. We've had horrendous loss of life, casualties. I think October, November, December of last year were the three highest. Now it's somewhat decreased. The great majority of the casualties are those on the Anglophone side. The Cameroon government is just not being proactive in addressing this problem.
I was about to get through to my mom, and she said they spent the night sleeping on the floor because the soldiers were just going down the streets and just spraying every building with bullets. It's not stray bullets, it is intentionally. So I'm trying to get her out of Congo, but she's refused because I've got siblings there who's got family. She said, I cannot run away. I cannot run and leave the rest of the family behind. She said, the neighborhood is decided. I said, Mom, we really need to get you to move from this. I will die in my house. I will not move away. And so she has arthritis, and the church services are in the evenings. And 2 weeks ago, she went to church and she was coming back. And she didn't know the military were out because they just come randomly. And she said she survived. She doesn't know how because the banana branches above her were being sprayed with bullets. I'm sharing this personal story, and it's not a personal story because it's the story of everyone in this room. To the family of the nurse who works with my sister, like sister said, my sister works in the cardiac center. She left to go to work, heavily pregnant and trekking because no vehicles moving. And she was shot down. She was wearing her scrubs and she was pregnant. and she was shot down. To the family of my friend and very good president over there, Fed, whose cousin came from the farm, and because he looked dirty, the military came, took him out. He was sitting in the kitchen roasting maize, roasting corn and eating. They took him in front of his family and shot him. To the family of the little kid below our market day in Ver, the high caliber bullet took off the head of the child. All right. To the families back home who have gone back after the houses have been burnt and only made the burnt remains of their grandmas and grandpas. To the families of the boys who went to Nigeria to buy, because we are very close to Nigeria, and when they got to a village very close to mine, they were riding on bikes and carrying goats. The military took away the goats, shot them, and then threw gasoline on them, and then burned them. To these families, the people of La Crosse are hearing their stories. To the families of people in Cove, in Meluf, in Kikaikom, in Junction, in all over Tatum, to these families whose crops have been burnt, to the ones that they burn the houses and then they go behind the house and they kill the pigs and kill the livestock and then set fire on the things. To all of you out there, the people in La Crosse are hearing your stories and are saying words of thoughts and prayers and extending their blessings to you. To the families that are living in the forest right now, and they've been living in the forest. Today, this is April, it is moving into May, and the rainy season is coming in force. These are torrential rains. To these families that are living in the bushes, not knowing when the soldiers will come, they can't go back home because they've been burned. They cannot get out into the road because everybody is a terrorist. That is the role in Cameroon right now. You are an English-speaking Cameroonian, you are a terrorist. To these families that are living in the trenches, that are living in the bushes, and cannot call because the cell phones have long died and cannot be charged. To these families in the bushes, the people of La Crosse can hear you. They can hear your cries. To those who have already died with their arms folding a dream, the dream of a peaceful life, to just go to the farm, till the land, plant some crops, plant some maize, harvest, send their children to school. To these families who have no other hope, because there is no justice. When your cousin, your son is shot in front of you, and you cannot report, you cannot go to anybody. When your grandma is burnt in the house, you come back from running in the bushes, and the house is burnt down, and you see the charred remains of your grandmom. The trauma of it. I'm just sending words to my siblings and to our people in Kombo and across the southern Cameroons, wherever you are, that the people in La Crosse can hear your cries, and they are not just sending the usual platitudes of something will happen about it. They are taking action to do something about it. So, thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. It takes a different kind of person to leave whatever you are doing and come here, not just to hear us talk about it, but to take action to do something about it. The love that our mayor talked about, I can feel it. I was giving people embraces when I came, and I said, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you, our people back home. Whenever I get to talk to them, because you don't know when you will talk to them next. You don't know. When I get to talk to them, I will say, you've got people here who care. Even your own government doesn't care about you, you've got people here who care about you. So thank you. What we started today, I strongly believe in the God that we believe in, because we as a people strongly believe in God. We believed in God before the colonialists came, before the missionaries came, and we still believe in God. That God that we believe in will see what we started here to fruition. Thank you.
What you heard here today are classic gradations of genocide that are being perpetrated even now in the 21st century. And it's a call to action for all humanity, because where there are human rights abuses, where there's suffering and oppression, when there's death and there's mass rape, when there's ethnic cleansing, cultural and heritage attack, it diminishes our entire humanity on this globe. And it is happening right now in Africa, in your homeland, affecting your families, and we must do better.